What's up? It's your girl Shaded right here with Straight Out the Trunk Radio. We are here with LeGree Shine. Thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with us today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Of course. No problem. We appreciate you for blessing us with your presence today.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. You deserve all of that.
Oh my God, you guys are so sweet.
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to get into all the things about you today. So we're going to start with, LeGree Shine. Tell us a little bit about your name and just how
that came about.
Yes, how that came about.
So my name is actually Melissa LeGree.
Okay.
And my father's name is Michael Shine.
Got it.
So LeGree Shine is how I pay homage to my father, who is probably like the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life.
That's awesome. Yeah. Shout out to Dad.
Yeah, shout out to Daddy. I love you.
Absolutely. Shout out to Dad. We love Dad.
Absolutely.
Okay. We're definitely gonna get into some family stuff too, for sure. So speaking of family, we are from Pensacola by way of Stockton, California. So tell us a little bit about how we got Stockton to Pensacola, because that's two different coasts. And then Stockton, nothing's there.
Right? Absolutely. My mom is originally from Akron. My dad is actually from Florida as well, but I was born in Stockton.
Okay.
Lived in Stockton for a while, and then my father moved us to Pensacola for a better life, essentially.
Okay.
California is mad expensive, so that was pretty much
correct.
Yeah.
As it is still.
Right?
Even
more so now. So I can only imagine what it was like to be a family of 6. We went over to Pensacola. So that's why I'm originally from Stockton. That's why I guess I sound this way. I always say I'm a Cali girl with Southern hospitality. So yeah.
Okay.
That's my vibe.
Got you. I absolutely got a little bit of both. Okay. And you said Akron, Ohio?
Correct.
Okay. So how we get Akron, Pensacola to Stockton? How we get all the way over here?
So my mom,
if my geography is correct,
my mom is from Akron, Ohio, and so she's in Ingram, and so the kids, a majority of them, I don't know how this all happened, but they all seem to have migrated over to LA at some point. So a couple of my uncles are in the music industry. My uncle James is James Ingram, who was signed by Quincy Jones.
Oh yeah,
and then
we're gonna talk about, okay, perfect. So
they all at one point all of the Ingram children were actually in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. That makes more sense.
Exactly.
To tie it in a bow, wrap it around, spin the block if you will. Okay, so perfect. So the Ingram, I'm glad you brought that in. So we got Henry, James, Philip, Ingram from the original members. Let's put some respect.
So the original members of Switch, absolutely,
of the group Switch.
Philip Ingram, the original.
For those of y'all who don't know about the group Switch,
listen.
I call your name, girl. Okay,
absolutely.
For those in the beginning, it's I used to call you. And it's the beginning of for those of us who are 2000 generation. It's the beginning of Rich Boy. Throw some D's. That's the beginning of that. Okay,
absolutely.
So for just to do some homework, that is the intro and the sample to that song.
Yes,
I Call Your Name.
Yes.
Yeah, so and then when I read your information on Switch, I was like, group Switch, and I had to look it up, and then as soon as I saw, I said, I call your name. I was like, I call your name, and I played it, YouTube. I'm like, and then the beginning, I was like, that's the beginning from, no. So, once again, learning lesson for me as well.
There's an OG somewhere, and I think that's just the thing. Knowing that Switch is iconic, for so many different reasons. Even their name Switch, people asking well, why are they called Switch? I mean, their abilities, they literally were up there switching instruments, they can all play some of everything, and so I think it was Jermaine Jackson actually said, I've never seen so much switching in my life when they were doing they were playing for, oh my God, was it Berry Gordy? I forget, my uncle told me this story so many times.
It's okay. I mean, drop all those exclusive names. You didn't drop Quincy Jones, Berry Gordy. Y'all better listen.
That's them.
No, but that is the lineage from which you come from.
You know what? This is true. And one thing I did shout out to Uncle Philip and Uncle Greg's, which I'm looking you saying the words now. No, because they kind of low key got onto me. I was at a Switch rehearsal, and they kind of got onto me about the fact that I didn't really necessarily tell anybody about about it. And it wasn't because I'm not proud of who I am or proud of being an Ingram. My Uncle Henry is the beginning of all of it. And I was so fortunate to learn music from him initially. So I love my Ingrams, my family, and I love where I come from in terms of this history, so rich with like the R&B and the soul and this gospel. So I am very much an Ingram. It's literally flowing through my, the blood in my veins. But I at the time I didn't want to let that be the thing, because most people come out here and they're just like, oh, you know who my uncle is, you know who my my auntie, like it's so much of that I just wanted you to be like, no, my name is LeGree Shine and I can sing, right? And then I also happen to be an Ingram, right? That part, you know, you wanted to build your own name. I did, not necessarily separate from them, but I learned very quickly. Again, Uncle Philip learned very quickly that. Yeah, I'm gonna rep for my family always. I also just wanted to make them proud as well. Like, I want my uncles to be proud of me. I want them to share this experience with me. And luckily, I did get to actually perform with Switch in 2018. Close out the show at the Rose with them, and it was amazing. That's awesome. It was really dope. Congratulations to you. I know that's it was a vibe. I was grateful. I bet that's a vibe. Right there. That's really a vibe. Okay, so. You growing up in a family like that and just having, just so much musical talent around you, did you feel any, pressure to, let's say, perform or live up to a certain standard just because, that's music royalty in certain ways? I think it wasn't so much pressure in terms of like having to live up to a standard. I just appreciated that I had such a close representation of what it could be. So for me, it was more motivating to have my uncles to be so talented and to come from such a talented group of people. Like, I just always wanted to make sure that I made them proud. So that was like the only thing that, that I would have on my shoulders. But otherwise, like, for me to just know that like 1 degree of separation, if you're even that, right? At that point, it motivated me to say, like, if they can do it, then why can't I? And then to have their buy-in and their actual support of me and telling me that I am enough and that I am good enough and that I am all the things. Because I mean, one thing you're not going to do is sing off key. Okay, hello. Period. I mean, one thing you're not going to do is not sound good. So I do appreciate that. I also come from a family that if you ain't it, they will tell you. Hello. So thank you for that. Yeah, honestly, no, thank you. As a music consumer and lover, thank you for that. Family, for you, LeGree Shine, thank you, because listen, the keys are all over the place. Listen, okay? and they be. And we'll mix and master it and put it out. And I don't understand. One thing I will say in my family, and my mom was actually a great contributor to this as well, because she's like the loudest alto in the world. Jesus. Come on. But with that, no, she also used to say, like, if you're going to be loud, be loud and wrong. If you're going to be wrong, be loud and wrong, because you need to be able to like catch it. So yeah, it's definitely about training your ear and listening. And also, if you can't sing a cappella, like, can you even sing at all? Like, don't let the music be your crutch. Like, you need to be able to like hear and anticipate. Yeah. Did you just call? I think we just called some people out, and inadvertently, I think we just called some people out. If you cannot sing a cappella, can you really sing? I apologize. That's the question. I think you might have inadvertently. Did I? I'm sorry. No, don't be sorry. I mean, but it's the actual musicality and the actual creation of good music, and you actually knowing how to sing and the keys and the notes and the pitches. If like, it's like being on the road, right? Like, if you're going, you're not on the, no, just try. Stay in your lane. That's all one can ask you to do when you're singing. Just stay in your lane. Yes. Stay in your lane. And I like that spin on loud and wrong that your mom has, because a lot of times when you think of the term or the saying loud and wrong, you're thinking of it in a negative way, where you just like, oh, they loud, you just loud and wrong. Yes. But what your mom is saying is like, be loud, be wrong, so you can be corrected. That's amazing. That's a great way to it's flip very, on that. Yeah, she has some Joe Jackson tendencies, but in the end, wait a minute now, Mama. She created something good. Oh my God, make that record. And you gonna make that record. No, she was the choir director at one point. So my brother was like the the tenor. I was a soprano, of course, and then she was the alto. So we would learn songs together. Like, yeah, no, that's where that came from.
Okay, no problem. But going into, so your family, I'm sure, is a big influence for you as far as musically. What other artists are influences for you musically?
I mean, the OGs, of course. You gotta love Whitney Houston.
Okay.
Like, you cannot bring her to the conversation. Mariah Carey, Aretha Franklin, Diana Ross.
Ooh,
that like powerhouse energy. But then to bring it more current, you cannot, like Jasmine Sullivan. I mean, the richness, the heartbreak, the heartache, the tone is just like, she never misses.
Yes.
Like, I don't feel like she gets enough credit. Even Keke White, like, I don't feel like she gets enough credit because the way that she can hold a note until tomorrow, it just,
Kiki's wild. Kiki's next level, especially with the runs and just like you said, effortless.
That breath control.
Effortless.
She had 37 kids and still got all of it. Listen.
1,000.
She created a whole community of people that we didn't even know.
Man, and still singing us down.
And can hold it all. Man. So, like, I props to her.
You just named some powerhouses on the singing side.
Yes, because those are my, and Deborah Cox. Oh my God, Deborah Cox.
Dropping some singing.
Because I like people who can sing.
Who can actually sing.
Yes. Because who's like, I like a singing singer.
Okay, got you. We got some soul in there.
Yeah,
okay. That ain't nothing wrong with that. We on the same page. LeGree. We on the same page. So do you have a specific? Well, because we're R&B, we've been talking about, that is the particular type of music that you make, correct? So is there a particular era of R&B that you specialize in or that you gravitate towards, or is that's your favorite?
No, it's 90s for sure.
90s.
Like 90s R&B, actual Deborah Cox, Nobody's Supposed to Be Here type of energy, like that, that early Mariah as well. Like, it just, it's the conversation, even stuff with like my Uncle James or whatever, like the Fine 100 Ways and those songs that are not just, they sound good, but the story that it's telling, like the conversation that they're trying to have with the people. I think that's what is also most intriguing about it, because it's the articulation of whatever this emotion that they're trying to convey, the apology or the disbelief, whatever is happening, like you actually feel it. And it comes across like in the most powerful way. And they actually take the time to, you can hear them, you can hear the words. Like you can actually understand what they're saying. Like now everything is so mumbled and muffled. It's like, I'm gonna just give you this note. You know what I mean? But 90s was articulate.
Yeah, no, it was intentional.
It was very intentional.
I think very intentional. And that was the time where, there was a lot of artist development. There was a lot of, just things being put into the records and into the production of an album and the release of it and just everything that went into that. So I think that's probably a lot of what you're picking up on too. That goes into play with, your musical background with your family and seeing, the musicality that comes with all their hits and, classics.
You are correct.
Yes.
I support this.
I support this.
I support this message.
I support this message. Really.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I support this message.
Okay. Absolutely. I'm glad that you support this message. So as far as I'm sure you've seen your family and uncles like just create and things like that, and like you said, you got to perform with them as well, which is amazing. What is your creative process like?
So I think create? It's interesting because, well, one, I'm of the car ministry. Polly knows, like, if there is a beat and he says that he wants us to have to go over something or like work on a track, usually I used to love to just like listen to it in the car because the sound was like, kind of surround sound, like you're in that bubble. And driving for me is very cathartic. Like I can just kind of, coast. And so driving and being in the car as a vibe. It is difficult to create music that way because you got to do the whole voice note thing while you're in it. And so that could be a little bit, I know that sounds, it's crazy, but we've actually made some really dope concepts in moments like that. But for me, it really is just about sitting with the track. And sometimes the tracks, I have to let it kind of speak to me. Sometimes we have ideas beforehand, but other times I just like whatever, I catch the wave like he's for the streets. I was actually getting ready to build a shoe cabinet at 11 o'clock at night, and Polly sent me it was the most random thing. Polly sent me a beat, it just randomly, and then I listened to it, and after the first literally few seconds I immediately started singing. And I was like, oh, well, let me stop. I had just cut the box open. Like I haven't even taken a piece out yet. So then I just I just started singing it. Yeah. And then I wrote it, the first verse, and then I sent it over to Polly, and he was like, keep going. So I turned around and wrote the second verse. Like it just kind of flew out. Like it just comes. It really did. Yeah. But that's what I was feeling, I guess, like in that moment, and that's the direction that we went in. I think we recorded like the next day. Okay. Yeah. So it sometimes it just happens. But if I'm in a really dark place, or like if I have something I need to say, sometimes I just sing it. Okay. Because I feel like whoever it is that I want to tell it to, like the reason why I have it in me is because they're not open to receiving it, or maybe they're not even worthy of receiving it. So I'd rather give it to the masses. Yeah, and that's just kind of save that for myself. Yeah, that's deep right there. Because sometimes you're not going to be able to express what you want to the person, because like you said, maybe they're just not in the space to receive, or you're not going to get the response you want, so it's going to hurt you in return. So. But you have to get it out. So that's great that you can use music to do that. That's amazing. Yeah, that's why I said music listens. Yes. Music listens when people don't. That's crazy. Yeah, that's man, you be dropping some bars, okay? You been dropping some bars since we've been in it, okay? So it sounds like I won't say it sounds like, I'll ask you. Do you feel you create your music from more so pain or love, or just... No, pain. Someone actually told me, someone who caused me pain, ironically, told me that they were like listening to me, just like some of the snippets of me singing, and they said like, you sing from a place of pain. And I'm like, because that's really the main emotion. It's really the main feeling of my existence. It's like the literal story of my life. If you had to put a word first or just describe it in one, it's painful. Like it's painful. Yeah. Which is ironic because when people meet me, they, I'm... Yeah, you're all smiley. That's what I'm like, what? Yeah. Like, you know why? It's because I know how I feel and I know what I carry. Okay. And I never want someone else to feel that and to carry that. So if I am the only reason why you smile today, I know that I walked out into this world and I did something like positive and I did something good. I never want to contribute to anyone's day or life in any negative way. So this jovial, this high energy, like it literally it's who I am and it's how I present, but it's really for everybody else. Okay. Yeah. That's I think that's an interesting insight or develop, or you just letting us in on your internal, because I think it's a depiction of, you never know what somebody's going through, or you never know what's in, because somebody could be all smiley and you're like, I'm going through hell at home. That's the thing though, is because again, with me knowing my own journey or my own pain, and I see someone else, and people are like, when you see people who like have unfortunate circumstances where they feel like they can't make it anymore, and always someone is just like, oh, but they were fine, like I didn't see the signs, because you're not paying attention and you're actually not listening. And a lot of times people will tell you flat out that they're not okay, but then everyone says, oh, well, you're fine, you get through everything, like God will give you more than you can bear. And I'd be like, okay, Jesus, but I think you might have just found that one more piece. Right. Like it just he said, this was I think sometimes people, if you really just stop and listen to a person, and if you just listen, sometimes even just look at them, like sometimes just take yourself out of it. Like that's my consideration. And when walking the face of this earth, right? I'm taking myself out of it. The minute I walk out of my house, it's no longer about me. I need to make sure that I am not casting any type of negative energy into someone else's realm, like their atmosphere, because again, it could be that last moment. You just don't know. Yeah. So I take into consideration that life is heavy, the world is heavy, and I want everyone to feel peace and I want them to feel joy. And so I smile at people, I say hello. I pray over people, even if they don't even realize, you know what I mean? Like God, if I see that, they're struggling in some type of way, just, God help them. Like God give them peace, God grant them, whatever it is that they're going through, just speak peace over their life and you keep it moving. Even people who do you wrong. I write a song about you. Right. And then I say, fuck you, right, and God bless. Right. That part, exactly. Period. I mean, but that's amazing that, you're able to keep smiling.
It's, based, even through all the pain and all the, difficult times that you are going through, you don't look like what you're going through.
And, we do thank God for that.
Yes, because people have been through less who look worse.
Yes, this is, and I think that's the thing, it's threshold, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people, you don't know what a person's threshold is. And so some people will say to you like, oh, like people have gone through, people are going through worse than you. But to your point, like, yeah, but what are they able to carry? Like, I'm not as strong as you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't carry the weight that you can carry. I can't hold the pain that you can hold. It just, we need to stop minimizing someone's experience and their emotion behind their experience, and allow them to feel whatever if they need to feel in that moment, because that's the only way they're going to actually get on the other side of it. And that's the thing that I do. Like, I feel all my feelings. I go through the motions. I do retreat. That's my downfall. I retreat, I get quiet, but it's because I'm processing, because I don't want to project that. So it's in consideration of other people, but everybody may not see it that way.
Okay. And that's okay. They don't need to see it your way, because it's your way.
Yes.
And that's okay. Perfect. That's okay. But as far as, like you were saying, you potentially put out your bad feelings or things that you're going through in your music.
Correct.
Your new single.
Yes.
He's for the streets.
Yes, he is.
Was that you getting out some feelings for somebody who did you wrong? That's what I'm getting.
I would say it's funny, because I typically write from a place of like just like flat out experience. I will say this was, I guess, like the end of a thought regarding a basic ass nigga who did.
Come on, basic ass nigga.
Yeah, basic ass nigga, because you basic and you know who you are. Because there's multiple of you.
Hello. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when you find yourself in this interview, it's you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he
talk about it, okay? Look in the camera, okay?
It's just, I started thinking about just the process of like, so the song is kind of twofold, because you are identifying some issues that happen when you do recognize that this guy is not who he says he is, and he's like, low-key trifling. But I think it's also where you have to take some accountability, and you have to acknowledge that you knew kind of how he moved a little bit, but then again, that's why I say, this time was supposed to be the last. Yes. You said that it was me. I was the best you ever had. It was me and you. That was the whole thing. Like you keep telling me that I'm the reason and this is why, but then you literally go and you tell the next girl, and you probably told the one before me.
Yes.
So it's very much about, it's a couple of individuals, but there's one in particular.
Okay.
One in particular who's on the other side of that clown photo.
Yes. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because I was definitely going to bring that up, because you literally have a post on your Instagram with a particular person, and there's a clown emoji circling over his face. So we don't know who you are, but you're on the page.
I mean,
with the song playing in the background. Okay? I said, oh, we're big time petty. We're big petty. Oh,
Petty is my middle name. Petty.
That's okay.
Listen, I'm a part of the Petty ministry.
Look, I'm here.
I definitely. Yeah, so we're his friends.
Listen, the friends are like, if you can't do it, I can't.
Listen, it was with that one, I think it was just, for me, it's just mind blowing how some men maneuver, and they play with you. They play with your feelings. They play with your emotions. They know that you're genuine. They know who you are and with whom they're dealing, and yet they still find a way. And I would say this one reached back.
Come on, Rich.
All the way back. Just to then, he said, I didn't hurt you enough the first time. And this is where I have to take accountability. He said, I didn't hurt you enough the first time. It didn't phase you the first time. The dent that was made was not, it wasn't deep enough. No, it wasn't painful enough, because you didn't cry. And that was the thing. The first time I didn't cry. So he said, now I'm going to show up with a level of emotional intelligence just enough to play you and to show you how much you ain't shit to me. And how much, let me just, And then, back to my face. And then I said, thank you. Literally.
Okay.
Said thank you.
Okay.
I said, thank you for the time that you shared with me. And I'm going to go.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
And applaud you.
Thank you.
For number one, taking accountability for your part that you played in it.
Yes, and believing that niggas could change.
Well, I was gonna say just that you were complicit because you were there and you knew, just like you talked about earlier in the interview, you saw signs and you ignored them and you chose to stay, and that is why you ended up, and then went back for a second dose.
Well, see what had happened was,
okay,
because I don't want to say too much, but here's the thing: I didn't stay.
You see the.
Let me tell you what happened.
Come on, talk about it.
So what happens with me, ironically, is that you could be having the best day ever. Can you just imagine? We're having the best conversation, and then all of a sudden I get up and walk out of this room, and then you never see me again. Can you imagine that moment happening right now, where I'm just like, and you'd be like, well, what?
Yeah, what happened?
That's what happened. In that situation.
Okay.
So when the person came around and was just like, oh my God, I apologize for what I did to you all that time ago, and I'm all the things, like that was so it, like, nothing happened.
Yeah,
I didn't stay in anything. It was in this particular instance, it was like, you were here one day and you were gone the next. And on the worst day, mind you, that he could have possibly decided to deuce me up because he knew that I was having a difficult time. But, niggas don't nig. So, yeah, fast forward, like my brother really shamed me on this one. Thank you, Bijou.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother. No, but in this instance, he did say to me, my brother was just like, no, like you shouldn't have retched back with them, right? Basically, you should have just let that be what it was.
I'm with you, Bijou.
Yeah, I know, right? So, and here's me thinking, because you know what it is though, because how many people have you known that had that story that's just like, oh, we went through this difficult time, and then the Lord, and and now we're better than ever, and oh my God, we're celebrating 20 years, and like you think that's why does it have to? My story doesn't have to be like sugar sunshine all the way through. There could be some levels of growth that are needed. Like I'm trying to give people the opportunity to people. And still win.
Yes, I get that.
And apparently you can't with me, so here we are.
I get that.
Yeah,
I get that.
Mistakes for me.
But yes, and I just to tap in, I'm not want to speak for your brother, Bijou. Shout out to you. But I think Maya Angelou said it best. When people show you who they are,
and that's what he said. And that's what he said.
You believe them, and I feel like the key to that quote is the first time. The first time. Because if I could up and leave you without any regard for anything, why wouldn't I do it again? Especially now that I've come back and you've allowed me back in. Why would I think that I can't act even more of a fool this time? Because guess what?
Because you
allowed me back.
This is a true story.
You allowed me back. So I feel like, just going back into, us being accountable for ourselves.
Yes, we are.
Is that we should not place, we should not hold people for the potential of what they can give us.
Let's listen, potential, Jesus.
Okay, we cannot live in a place of potential. We have to let people live, be who they are and accept them for just that.
And I will tell you this, in this story and in this journey, I have definitely done just that. My cutoff game is very strong.
Come on.
It's very strong.
So
even the fact that I don't know why I allowed the wretch back. I think I was just in a vulnerable place in that moment. I will blame the panorama, if you will.
Come on, panoramic.
It was a panoramic time. That did happen in the era of the panorama.
It had us. We were different people.
We were different people. And so she was not at her best, and therefore me faltered. And I take full account. I actually take accountability for really all my actions, to be honest with you, because I thought about them. I make very informed decisions, whether they're the best ones or not.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
History will tell us.
Right.
But ultimately, I'm very fully aware of the decisions that I make and the steps that I take to make said decision. So that's where that accountability comes in, and that's why in He's for the Streets, like that's why I'm saying in there, like, I know how you move. Like, she is her, I am me, she is her. Like, we are all each other. Like, this is the thing. So I think taking accountability is really big to me for other people, but I also charge myself up for that as well. I'm going to fully and wholly take responsibility for all of my actions and how it affects other people. So absolutely.
As you should. And that's okay. That's okay. We all go through, those different times, where we maybe accept less than we should, but we don't know what we know at the time, and we know better. So we
do better. Absolutely.
There it is. And that's okay. That's what we're here. We're doing. We're just learning, growing, being better. So as far as you being an artist, an amazing artist at that, by the way, how do you balance artistry and being a career businesswoman as well?
It is, I will say it is not the easiest thing to do, right? Because sacrifices have to be made, I think, and on both sides. And I feel like I'm finally able to do the things from an artist perspective that I really have just longed for. And so getting in this studio, being able to perform, making these records, putting them out, having the engagement that I'm having, that is like a huge part of just genuinely who I am. So that's a really huge part of me. And I'm grateful that the company, ironically, that I work for is actually very supportive of that.
Okay.
They were like, listen, I had a show at Unplugged a couple of weeks ago, and my boss had a whole table with my squad sitting right there, cheering me on the loudest. Like some of those clips from YouTube came from her. Like, I'm very grateful that I do work for a company that all the way to the top, even the owners, they appreciate and support me musically. So so being able to have them appreciate me for what it is that I do, when I'm behind that computer versus when I'm behind the mic, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't stop for me and it doesn't stop for them. And I'm just, if I didn't have that buy-in, I don't know if it would be as seamless as it has been. The difficulty really is just the timing of it all. Cause I just transitioned and I've taken on a little bit more responsibility, but it's that, finding that balance. Finding that balance. And then I have great support with Paul and everything too. He's like works around my schedule. So like we definitely, it's doable. Yes. I can be all. I can do it all. Yes. And I am doing it all.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. I'm not trying, I'm doing it.
Yeah, no, I'm doing it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Hello. Okay. And shout out to you, Queen, for not trying and doing it.
Oh yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, no problem.
Thank
absolutely.
You.
And that's amazing, because we are usually, I would say we are as successful as who we associate with and who is around us, so you having people like Polly to be able to, work around your schedule and encourage you, like you were saying, sending him records and he's like, keep going, things like that. And that's just to encourage you. And then also on the career side, because that's super rare. Because most people are, most career jobs are trying to make you choose like, well, you work for us, so we need you to dedicate your time while you here. So that's amazing.
No, they've actually said to me at one point, they said, I know that you're going to leave us someday, but we know that when you do leave us, it's going to be because you're going to be all the things that you were meant to be. Like to have somebody kind of like speak that into your life is just like it's so amazing. That makes me actually work harder for them too, just because I want to make sure that they know that I'm not squandering the literal gifts that they give me on a daily basis. Plus my boss is like, you need to have that balance, because she said I need another single to bump in my car. So
that's what I'm talking about. And that's amazing. I think that's a big lesson for anybody who maybe has employees or maybe who watches this. The more you empower your employees and the more you pour into them, the harder they work for you.
Absolutely.
That's a huge, I think that's a small gem that we can drop for some people who, maybe who companies who don't necessarily know that as far as, employee relations.
Listen, I know the balance of the two. I've been in situations where I have been treated like straight garbage, and the gift of working for the company that I work for now has empowered me. I've had 4 promotions in 4 years.
Come on. Come on. God dang. I need to learn. We'll talk about
it. But I mean, it's because what it is when some people, it really is the caliber of the individuals who work there, and it really does come from the top. But like when you have people who are secure within themselves and they see someone else that has a talent in any capacity, it's for them to foster it, to uplift you and see how it can work best for you. Like my goal is, even in my boss situation, is to hire no more than me, have longer years in the industry, like do all that's fine by me, because that's gonna make a better balance for me. You'll make me better. I can probably make you better some way somehow. But like being afraid of someone who is more knowledgeable is just like, I'm sorry, that makes you weak.
Come on.
It makes you weak because I need to be in a room. I can't be the smartest person in the room.
That part. You in the wrong room.
I'm in the wrong room. I'm
room.
absolutely in the wrong room.
You've now outgrown that room.
Absolutely.
That part. You know.
And I don't stay where I don't fit.
Hello. Okay. We don't say we don't fit, and that's a gem. You need to go in rooms where you're not the smartest person in that room, so you can learn from people. Mm-hmm. And don't be afraid. That's what.
Yeah, I've definitely taken some leaps, and the leaps have paid off in every way.
Okay.
So we thank God for that.
Okay. Yes, because we gotta take leaps.
Yes.
Leaps of faith, and growth happens outside of our comfort zone.
And I was just gonna say it's gonna be uncomfortable because I'm in an uncomfortable time right now. Mm-hmm. But in this transition of discomfort, I do see the light at the end of the tunnel. I see why I was chosen to be in the place that I'm in, and then I also just trust God in the process of knowing, like, because look at what He has given me. Like, look at what He's shown me that I can have and I can be. So it's the balance of it all. It's it's uncomfortable, sure. Sleepy, she is, but
sleepy, yes, she is.
But it's all worth it. Okay. It's all been worth it.
Absolutely.
And I'm very grateful.
Yeah, living and stepping and breathing in that purpose is very much worth it. Absolutely. Because a lot of people are afraid to do that.
Take a leap, guys.
Yes.
The panorama. You've learned nothing from the panorama. Just take the leap.
Take that leap.
Take the leap, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's necessary.
Okay, yeah, take that leap. Take that leap. So also, before we're gonna wrap it up here in just a little bit, but I want to talk a little bit about, you did the intro for Speak Up JV's podcast. Yes. I was like, I think I hear something on that one. Uh-oh. Hold on. We're going to pause.
Did I throw it?
You tossed it. It's okay. Hold on 1 second.
Thank you. Facial identification.
Damn, Gina. Gotcha.
Thank
All
you.
right. Good. Okay. Yeah. So you how did that come about?
So that was I think that was my first that was my second interview, my first interview. I was just so grateful for the opportunity. Like, she was such a vibe. Mm-hmm. The energy that she had was just so, like, giving. And it was really just like talking to my homegirl type. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like this. Like, this is just, it's so easy. And I don't know, when I was just speaking with her and her love for music, and then she was telling me that she had actually seen me before and like all these different things and had been following me a little bit, like that actually really made me feel very, I was so grateful. Yeah. And so the only way, again, the best way I should say for me to articulate myself sometimes is through music. Mm-hmm. And so we were in the studio and it's Polly and I, it's kind of funny because we kind of thought of it at the same time, but Polly was like, we should do an intro. And I was like, say less. Yeah. Like, I'm ready again, send me the record. I listened to it in the car.
Go on, there it is.
And I wrote it in the car and then did the voice note. Polly said yes, and then we recorded it. So yeah, her platform is amazing. What she's doing is amazing, and I just wanted to like show her my gratitude. Yeah. So I just made it. I'm like, and apparently I feel like that needs to be a thing now. Like, yeah. Yeah, no,
we should, give back to, each other. We, media side, artist side, we love each other. We are, one and the same, if you will. Yes. So, and then, shout out to JV. She's amazing.
Lisa, you're amazing. Oh my God, thank you so much.
Yes, she definitely is amazing.
Yes, she really is.
So you talked a little bit, you talked a lot about, you creating music from pain. Mm-hmm. But I know that aside of you, especially I saw some stuff on your Instagram where you love love.
I love love.
Love. So
I love love.
Tell us, are we going to get some more loving records? Some inspiration from some love from LeGree Shine? So
I actually do have a couple of records that are like love generated, right? Like they do exist.
They're love forward.
They are love forward. They absolutely are. Now, where those niggas are now.
Okay. They remain to be.
The stories that will be told about you, sir.
Right.
OG 13. You know who you are. OG 13. He'll pick that up.
Yeah.
No, it's I wrote
so many shots. Oh my God, all these strays. Wow.
No, I did write a song called Natural You. It was actually the first song that I wrote when I came into Local Astronauts, and it was after a weekend of just like euphoric, amazing, just like it was just fire. Just everything about the weekend with him was just
A lot of amazing sex?
Well, I mean, that too.
Okay,
I mean,
come
yeah.
on.
If you must, yes.
I'm gonna get to it, okay?
If you must, yes. We actually just like it was such a vibe. I mean, we're in Cali, right?
Yes.
So we drank a little bit, we chilled a little bit, and then it just like
back shots a little bit. No problem.
Listen, hear me out.
Back shots.
The way Jesus, the way that
Come on, and I received.
Hallelujah.
And I received. Come on.
But listen, it was a moment, and so then I go into the studio, and then Polly drops this beat, and I was just like, I was on this high.
Boom.
Yeah.
You remind me of that day.
Yeah. But you know what it was? It was more because this was a person that I was so in love with like my entire life. Okay. And I finally had the opportunity as an adult to really like embark on that love and to see what that really looks like and what that felt like. And it was one of those things where it was honestly probably like, I will never love someone the way that I loved that man. Because I think it's at a certain point, it's like, not even healthy for me, like because I'm too forgiving.
Too much.
It's
okay.
Well, for him it's too much.
Okay.
Because insecurities. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. So sorry you're insecure. But I genuinely like I loved him like to the tip of my toes. Yeah. Like I really he was just so amazing to me. But I don't know if he could see that just him was enough, and that there was probably nobody in this world that could take me from him. Like it was of that level. Did he deserve it? Probably not, apparently. You know, he definitely did show me at every turn why I was too good for him, per his own words. So, but in that song, in that moment, it really was just the homage to just like him and how he made me feel, and just the sight of his face, or the idea of like being able to like kiss him, touch him, like even like, you know how you call people like baby and babe. I don't even call him that. I called him by his name because I just the sound of his name coming out of my mouth was just so like that was enough for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was that I know, right? Yeah. Like no, I wanted to say his name. Like I loved saying his name and knowing that he could hear me saying his name. Like that actually was that was love. And so the song Natural You was like born from that. So we'll actually play it for you before we leave out, so you can see what that's like. Yeah.
Now that I got to paint a picture, I need to hear it.
You need to hear it and watch that backdrop of that astronaut in the water.
Yes, absolutely. So
it will definitely
float off.
Absolutely. Yeah. It will take you there. But yeah, so there are moments of real true love. I've never loved anyone the way that I loved him. And I never want to, because I think it's almost like that was like a sickness, like to get over that and to get through that and to like, and then again, here we go with the wretch back, right? Yeah. So I'm learning, right? But yeah, I believe in love. I do love love. That's why I give everyone their own opportunity. I'm not jaded or scarred by the things that have happened to me. I understand the contribution that I've made in them. Some I had no contribution. It just was what it was. And then here we are. But I meet people where they are. Yeah. So my goal is just to like be open to the love and be open to the people who want to actually give me the love that I seek, that I desire. So I think most definitely there will be more. We will lean into that a little bit more. Okay. A lot of it more.
I'm definitely looking. Yes. We're looking forward to that for sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
I met a boy, so here we are.
Okay. Come on, praying hands. Come on.
Dear baby Jesus.
Yes. Sweet black Jesus.
Sweet black chocolate. Book of Clarence.
Jesus, Devontae Christ.
Oh, Devontae, because you know.
Yes, Jesus,
Devontae Christ. You don't even understand this. Devontae is my go-to middle name. Okay. And that,
there you are. See,
here we are.
Alignment. You know, I feel like maybe this is a good time.
It is a good time. Yeah, I support
for this new person.
Support
this message.
Yeah. And I'm sure he would too.
Yes.
So,
okay. That's no problem.
And I call him Devontae.
Yes, that's hilarious. That is hilarious.
Because he's like a 90s love song.
Okay. Even better. Even better. And your 90s R&B, you know.
It fits.
It totally alignment for sure.
Absolutely.
So as far as your EP,
yes,
coming out soon.
Yes.
What can we give us a little bit? What are we expecting? Are we expecting some pulling from pain? Niggas is for the street, because For the Streets is on it. So niggas is for the streets.
They are.
We have some some love in there. What do we have on?
I want that the feeling that the 90s had, that vibe, like that 90s R&B, it just, the Mary J. Blige, the happiness, the empowerment. I want to find that balance. I think I want to just project that it's okay to be who you are, to feel the way that you feel, and this to show up in this world. So like, there's going to be moments where some days you're at your highest of highs, and then that's where you're going to get that girl anthem. And then you're going to be at your lowest of lows, and there's going to be some of your songs that are just going to be, you know, heartfelt and painful, like He's for the Streets, and depending on which end, you know, that you're on in that song. But you're going to get a full ride. Like, you're going to go on a full journey emotionally. You'll be sad one minute, you're going to be lit the next minute, and then you're going to lie somewhere in between. And that's life. Yeah. I'm just sharing you, giving a piece of my life. Okay.
And we appreciate you so much for giving us a piece of your life. And we're definitely looking forward to hearing the EP and what it all, you know, encompasses, and what you know, the ride that you're going to take us on.
Thank you.
And before we get out of here, what is an affirmation, that a positive affirmation that you say to yourself? And if you don't say affirmations, okay, so affirmations, positive affirmations, are there any particular ones that you say to yourself? And if you don't, what is one that you will begin to say to yourself from now on?
So what I actually say to myself, but also it's funny because I say it to my staff all the time, because people are always talking about like the past, and I was guilty of that for the longest time, about something from the past or whatever and how it's affecting now. So I literally say, what was is not what is, and not what it is going to be.
Come on.
So I told them that every time when they try to bring something back, what was is not what is, and not what it is going to be. Come on. So I continue to tell myself that, because whatever the pain that I felt, or the pain that I'm feeling, or experiences that I'm having, and then when things are just not going the way that I want them to go, and I reflect back, like, well, how come all the time this has to be? And I'm like, no, because what was is not what is. I'm claiming it right now, that on today, that yesterday is just that. It's yesterday, today is a new day, and I'm moving forward with this openness, with this light, and, you know, the power of the tongue is real.
Yes, very much so.
So I even make sure that with the way that I articulate a story, that I'm not focusing so much on the negative aspects of it, but to say it in a positive way. I know that makes no sense whatsoever. Like, but it just, watching the things that I say and how I say them, and remembering again that what was is not what is, and not what it's going to be. Yeah, no,
what you're saying is complete facts, because what we say to ourselves is very important. What we say and think most, we become.
It's true.
So that's very important. And our past is our teacher. Our present is a gift, which is why they call it a present, or, you know, the present. And then our future is our paradise. So that quote is extremely powerful. Yes. And that's amazing that you say it to your staff, you say it to yourself as well. And I'm personally am looking forward to you getting all the blessings and all the things that you want, and the love that you so willingly give to everybody else.
I mean, y'all don't deserve it.
And but you deserve it, and you deserve it in return.
I do.
And I am hoping for you in your future that you are going to love somebody that loves you back in return. Hopefully, new man. Hopefully,
new boo nigga.
Hopefully, you are the one. Hopefully, but if not, it's okay.
That you're the one.
But if not, and if he's not, we're not going to circle back. We're not going to retch back.
The retch back is that. Listen, we don't have to do a song called retch back at this point.
Yes, we're not going to retch back.
We're definitely no. There is no more retching back. We retched back twice in life. We're not. Yes. We're definitely not.
Yes.
We're never.
And as soon as we see a sign of any kind, red flag, we gotta go.
Oh yeah. But see, I will say that is the one thing. My cutoff game is strong, and people typically, you know, they get rid of themselves faster. Yeah. So we are
hang themselves. Yes. You give them a rope.
Yes. We are happy to do that. But yes, no, I will definitely. I am more guarded than I've ever been in my life, and it's I have too much. I have too much to lose, and it's just me. I don't want to. Nothing is worth me.
That part, because you are a gift as well.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Thank you. I appreciate that, and I want to thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with us, sharing your story, sharing your gift with us as well. We're looking forward to the new EP once it comes out, and thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, no problem.